What's up, guys? I'm gonna be showing you. I'm gonna show you my predictions for UFC 266. All right, the first fight is Omar Morales versus Jordan Pierce. Jordan Pierce has a pretty good record. It's not that bad. His notable loss was to Joe Lozon back in 2019, but he did bounce back against Kai Kamaka, who's a tough dude. I believe he was his first loss. First time he beat Kai, which is pretty cool. Omar he's really good. He's a really good striker. His only loss ever was to Giga, and Giga is like murdering people now. He's on a roll. So I do got Omar Morales. I don't know if he's gonna be able to finish. I don't think he's gonna be able to finish Jordan Pierce, but I think he's gonna dominate him in the striking and have a pretty one-sided victory. So yeah. Next we got Matt Semmelsberger versus Martin Santos. Now, I don't even know why Martin Santos is fighting. His last fight was a draw with Diego Herzog 4 years ago. He's 4-2. Then he had 2 losses 5 years ago and 6 years ago. His last win was 7 years ago. And yeah, man. And Matt Semmelsberger is pretty good. Only loss in the UFC is to Chaos Williams. So I got him by knockout in the first round. Next fight's a hard one for me. It's Nick Maximoff versus Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage, he's okay. He's got good submissions, but he did lose to William Knight, and Maximoff is undefeated and won Season 4, I believe, of the Ultimate Fighter, the Contender Series. So I think Nick is going to be able to grind him out and maybe get the finish. I'm not sure of that one. The next fight is Uros Medic versus Jalen Turner. Uros, very high prospect, brutally beat Alan Cruz, and then he's fighting Jalen Turner, who's former welterweight, but I think moved down after he lost to Vicente, and he's been on a win streak. Pretty well-rounded. It's just his record doesn't show that. It's another tough one, but I'm leaning towards Medic by TKO. Next fight, we got Talia Santos versus Roxanne Modafferi. I'm a big fan of Modafferi, but I don't know if she can pull this one off. She did lose. She's lost to the toughest in the division: Lauren Murphy, Jennifer Maia, and Viviane Araujo. Talia Santos only has 1 loss to Mara Borella. Wait, is that... I got the wrong thing. Do I? No, Mara Borella. She beat Molly McCann, and recently in December beat Gillian Robertson. 17-1, dangerous. Good record. It's hard, but I think Talia wins out unanimous decision. Now, next fight is Shamil Abdurakhimov. Correct me if I butchered his name. He hasn't fought in a while, but he's really good. Just wish he had fought when he was younger, because he's already 40 years old. His last fight was a loss to Curtis Blaydes by TKO. But he has wins over Marcin Tybura, Andrei Arlovsky, and Chase Sherman. And he lost to Derek Lewis. Now, Chris Daukaus is undefeated in the UFC. Beat Parker Porter. He beat Nascimento, and he beat Alexei Oleinik, which was probably his biggest win, but I don't know. This one's hard. I'm leaning a little bit towards Abdurakhimov, but I could definitely see Daukaus getting the knockout. Now, the next fight is the hardest one for me to pick on the entire fight card. Dan Hooker versus Nasrat Haqparast. Nasrat is nasty. He's got destructive power. His highlight reels everywhere of him knocking out Joaquim Silva. He did lose to Drew Dover, but that's his only loss in recent memory. He's bounced back with dominant decision wins against Alex Munoz, and Rafa Garcia also has wins over Guti. Dan Hooker is one of the best in the division. Was on a big win streak after he lost, Barboza. Beat Vic, Iaquinta, and Felder before losing to Poirier and, Hooker. Hooker's lost to Poirier and Chandler, the top of the division. This one's close. I'd lean towards Hooker, but Nasrat, he bombs on everyone, man. He could definitely get the knockout, but I think Hooker is gonna get a late finish or a decision. Marlon Moraes versus Merab Dvalishvili. Marlon's kind of a skid. He used to be the scariest guy in the division, but he's kind of fell back since he lost to Cejudo, winning a controversial decision to Aldo and then losing to Sandhagen and Font. And Merab has won quite a bit after his loss to Simone. I'm leaning towards Marlon. I think Marlon could get that comeback knockout. A lot of people disagree clearly as a typology. He's a moderate favorite, but I think Marlon could pull off the underdog victory here. Now on to the main card. Got Cynthia Calvillo versus Jessica Andrade. I think Jessica is gonna bomb on her. No offense to Cynthia, she's a great fighter, but Jessica looked good before the Valentina fight against Rose. She definitely won that last round dominantly and destroyed Caitlin Chookagian. So I don't know. This one's closer than it appears, but I'm leaning towards a decision for Andrade, honestly. I think she's going to win a unanimous decision. Now on to Curtis Blaydes versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I'm a big Rozenstruik fan, but it's hard to go against Curtis Blaydes in most fights. The only fight I didn't have him winning out of all the fights I've seen him from was the fight against Lewis. But, before the Lewis loss, he's beat Volkov, Dos Santos, Shamil, and Justin Willis. Justin Willis isn't that good, but he's known for beating Marquardt. So, yeah, I definitely have Curtis Blaydes. I think he's going to dominate him with the ground, but Jairzinho can knock anyone out. He's like Ngannou, can knock him out at any moment. But I definitely got Curtis Blaydes for this fight. Now on to the super fight, Lawler, Diaz too. Many people have Diaz, but I got Lawler. He's been on a 4-fight losing streak, but he's been active. Like Diaz, it's not his frame, but his frame looked pretty good. But again, I don't know if he's going to be fully in it. He didn't look like he was fully in it, but who knows? Maybe he can shock me. But I think Lawler is going to do a brutal end to this fight near the end of round 2 and knock Diaz out. Lauren Murphy versus Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko is the minus 6,000 favorite. Or minus 16,000 favorite, sorry. 1,600. Oh my god, sorry. Yeah, she's been killing people ever since she won the title. Lauren's been on a streak. She's a tough girl. But I don't know. I have to go with Valentina. She's dominated all of her fights. She hasn't had a close fight since the Nunes fights. And I think she's definitely going to win this fight. But Lauren Murphy, she has a good chance of winning. She has a good chance out of all the challengers to win. But I got to go with Valentina on this one. TKO round 3. And now the main event, Ortega versus Volkanovski. This one's tough too, because you see, if he had fought Volkanovski right after the Max fight, I would have said Volkanovski by far. But the Korean zombie fights showed so much improvement with his striking and just him being able to use everything. But Volkanovski is the man. Don't agree with the second Max fight. I think he should have won the second. He should have lost the second Max fight. But he won anyway, and he definitely won the first fight. And beat Jose Aldo, beat Chad Mendes, beat Darren Elkins. He's not a guy to mess with. His problem is he's got to use the striking. He's got to be calm, because Ortega's got very good grappling, and the striking's passing up. But if I had to pick, I'd definitely pick Volkanovski by decision. Not going to be like super dominant, but it's going to be a not decisive, but definite win for Volkanovski. And those are my predictions for 266.